Good Wednesday morning, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day, getting up, feeling good, staying positive out there as we work our way through our work week. Yesterday was a very active day in the weather world. A tornado outbreak, you can pretty much say, in a large portion of South Carolina, areas of Georgia. There was tornadoes reported in Alabama. Today is going to be another active day. We don't quite know how high the severity level is going to be, but I can say with some decent confidence it won't be quite like yesterday. But there is going to be a tornado risk. There's going to be a risk for damaging winds. So we're going to talk about in this video who could potentially see what. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it, guys. I make videos every single day, twice a day. I try to keep y'all updated. I might not have the best setup in the world, but I try to keep y'all updated and try to beat that with consistency and keeping y'all updated. Guys, really quick, and I know that some people don't always like the long intros, but y'all know I keep it personal on here, and I just do things a little bit different. I want to say how much I appreciate you guys with the amazing support on social media, on YouTube, everything like that. You know, I probably missed a lot of comments, whether it was on social media, whether it was on YouTube, but I just want to let y'all know I appreciate all you guys. I really do. Things like what happened yesterday, it gets me one step closer to really accomplishing my dreams, which is doing weather in general for a living, whether it's talking about it, chasing it, all that. You know, you guys are making this happen to me. When y'all click on my videos, it gives me one step closer. It's a very small step, but it's one step closer. So I appreciate people who donate. Sometimes I just get a random donation out of nowhere. And sometimes I don't have a way to contact a person to thank them. So make sure y'all leave y'all's email in the PayPal, things like that. I currently have 14 members who have joined my channel. I think it was 15. Now I have 14. So I'm trying to get to 20 by the end of May. But it's a great way to just support what I do. And I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the people who support me monthly and that help me out and to help basically a kid that has a passion for something accomplish their dreams. So I really appreciate you guys. I really do. I know I say it over and over again, but I always want y'all to know how much I appreciate y'all. Y'all give me a platform to talk about what I love. So thank y'all. Hope you guys are staying safe down there in areas of southern South Carolina. I haven't heard of any deaths, a lot of destruction, but we can rebuild things, but we can't get back people's lives. So if you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. We're obviously praying for everybody impacted by these tornadoes, but it gives me an opportunity to pray over them, gives others an opportunity to do so too. We can all glorify God and lean on Him for these things. So let's get going here. Let's talk about the weather and see what's going to happen today. See what potentially can happen today. A large enhanced region stretching all the way from the plateau of Tennessee to southern Appalachian Mountains. This includes Chattanooga, Knoxville. It includes Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, all the way to Savannah, Georgia. A very small section of South Carolina. But then you have a very large area of a slight risk too, which is a level 2 out of 5. Enhanced is a level 3 out of 5. If you ever wonder about the Outlook legend that's down here, when you start to get into that moderate and high, that means you're in a dangerous situation here for sure. But an enhanced, yesterday was an enhanced threat level, and it ended up being a tornado outbreak. That situation that happened in Iowa in early March, that was an enhanced, and you saw what happened in Iowa in early March from an enhanced risk. So these can be tricky. Tornado risk has went up. You don't have a hatched area, but you have a 10% risk of a tornado in 25 miles in any given location. And this 10% risk down here, this includes basically south central areas of Georgia, just south of Atlanta. This is going to be the epicenter of where the highest potential tornadic activity can be. There's basically an old leftover boundary in place. Convective levels, CAPE levels are going to reach well over 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 joules per kilogram. And you're going to have a little bit of a low-level jet, the kinematics, the wind energy down here in place. Not as much as yesterday, but a 30, 40 knot low-level jet is going to be there. So we have to watch out here. We really do. Wind threat is a little bit displaced from the tornado threat, and this is really driven by forcing from a cold front that's going to be making its way through here. And this is including this whole entire area in red: Atlanta, Chattanooga, Birmingham, Columbus. There's going to be storms that form along a cold front that's going to really have the chance to produce some hail and some damaging winds and a quick tornado. I want to mention, there's another area of a tornado risk too surrounding that 10% risk. So there's definitely a tornado risk and a hail risk today. So let's take a look at what is going on as a whole. This is that deep upper trough right here spinning. And this is, even though it's way up here, there's a lack of forcing early on. It's way up here. This is influencing our weather down here. And it's going to bring some nasty weather for areas of the mid-south and southeast later today. But this is that spin we're talking about right here. And we've been talking about this for the last several days about how this was going to be the last big day. Tomorrow, and I'll talk about this evening, has severe weather potential also in response to the same system that's spinning up here. And this is the system that's moving on out that gave us all the nasty weather yesterday. But, that looks to be confined to mainly eastern areas of North Carolina. So, deep breath, and let's get going into the HRRR model. See what we're showing. Let's zone in a little bit on this tornado threat first and look mainly at Georgia and South Carolina. So as we're getting going here, we're getting into the morning hours, starting to get into mid-morning convection, already starting to bubble up here along this boundary here in central Georgia. But it doesn't really get until about midday when we start to see some big-time storms starting to bubble up here just south of Macon. Well west of Savannah, and these continue. And I think the epicenter of the best rotating storms, the highest tornado level is going to be down here. So yesterday it was right into here, and something called NATOcast, which I'm about to show you here in a second, is actually a learning machine, and it's kind of like what the Storm Prediction Center does, but it tries to predict where the highest risk of tornadoes could be, and it did an excellent job yesterday. If you follow me on Twitter, which I always, recommend, I know not everybody's a Twitter person, not everybody's a social media person. I perfectly understand there's a lot of negativity on social media, but I post all my content on there first just because it's much easier to do so. But, I retweeted that, shared it on my Facebook, and it killed it. I mean, it did. It was extremely accurate, and it was dead on. But anyways, let's keep going here. So we're getting into around the 3-4 p.m. time frame, give or take an hour. This is going to be where the highest chance for a tornado is going to be down here. This cluster of storms that forms is going to be messy again. So again, just like the tornado that I caught down there in Allendale yesterday, it could potentially be rain wrapped. There's going to be embedded rotation in this, so you might not see it coming. There was another tornado down here in far eastern areas and southeast areas of Georgia that was not so much rain wrapped. It looked like something you would see out the Midwest. I think Pembroke is the town. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know in my video yesterday with the Allendale tornado, I called Allendale Allentown. I was just so jacked up on energy. I couldn't even think straight, but tried to hold my composure as much as possible. That was my first tornado, by the way. So anyways, a lot of messy convection. So I really think the biggest threat early on, is going to be earlier this afternoon, right when these storms form, right when you have a chance for something to become discrete. This is a boundary setting up leftover from yesterday. This happens a lot in the summer, leftover thermo boundaries or outflow boundaries where storms can really erupt here. There's a low-level jet right here in place I'm about to show you. So this will continue, move through the evening hours, and then might turn into more of a line of storms and bow out, and might head more into eastern Georgia. But then there's another line behind it, and I'll show you this in a second. But there's going to be a big-time flood risk with this, too. I didn't realize I got home yesterday, and I had over 2 inches of rain. My sump pump had overflowed. It broke, and my whole entire driveway was flooded. So, I was like, wow, I didn't realize how much rain we got. So let's go on and shift a little bit further northwest for my areas up here in North Georgia, Tennessee, and the southern Appalachian Mountains, areas of Alabama. So this is what we're going to focus on. There's 2 main threats. There's a tornado threat down here, heavy rain threat, damaging winds, still with this too. And then you have a line of storms that's going to develop. Watch out, Birmingham. These can have damaging winds with them, steep lapse rates in place with this cold air aloft moving through. Hail threat is here. Reason you have these steep lapse rates, when I'm talking about when I say that, is cold air aloft. How quick does the temperatures drop in the higher up in the atmosphere you go? So that creates cold air aloft, creates a damaging wind potential, and creates a hail potential. But you notice these storms are just moving literally northwest to southeast. That is associated with our cold front that's going to bring in much stable air for the weekend and cooler temperatures. But these could create a quick spin up too. In fact, you're getting into the late afternoon, evening hours. You watch this area right here in upstate South Carolina, northeast Georgia, a quick spin up's possible, but this will be a very small area of showers and storms, and it'll work its way through and probably make its way into the Carolinas by in the middle of the night. So it could be rough weather all throughout the night tonight, throughout the afternoon today. So definitely keep your eye on the sky here. The tornado threat's going to be highest, just around Macon Point South in central Georgia, but it could meander into South Carolina, and you could have a tornado threat associated with this line of storms moving through. So let's look at this. This is called updraftalicity. So just because you see this, where the outline area, that doesn't mean there's necessarily going to be a massive tornado here. This is trying to tell us where rotating storms can be. Think of it like that, where the potential for tornadic development can be. And you can obviously see it's highest down here in Georgia. So definitely be aware of this, because down here, sorry, I'm getting my thoughts mixed up here, because the tornado threat is going to be higher down here. You see the higher colors right here, the more bright colors or the darker colors, whatever you want to call that. Just basically the more colorful colors in general, highlighting the chances for rotating thunderstorms being higher down here. Then you see it associated with the line too, moving through the southeast. So you're going to have some rotating storms associated with this line too as you're moving into the morning hours into South Carolina for sure. But really earlier this afternoon, the main threat, and later this afternoon, late to early evening, is going to be a big-time threat for tornadoes down here in south central Georgia. So got to watch out here. One thing you watch for is the CAPE that builds here, and I'm just going to show you tropical tidbits really quick. CAPE is there, guys. You have CAPE levels that are pretty high for this time of the year. They really bubble up and build here in Georgia around where this boundary is. So you got CAPE levels starting to reach, per the latest HRRR model, CAPE levels starting to reach close to 2,000 joules per kilogram. This will build. One thing that's lacking here that's really preventing this from being a massive tornado outbreak or anything, and it still could be, still could see several tornadoes out of this, is the lack of kinematics, the lack of a low-level jet. It's there, but you're only pushing 30 to 40 knots at low levels here. So aloft, the winds aloft aren't super supportive for any kind of big-time tornado outbreak, but there is there. You got a little bit of a low-level jet here, screaming here, some shear in place to spin those updrafts and keep them rotating here. So there's going to be some spin out there, so watch out here. Watch out here in Georgia. I'm telling you guys, definitely do so. But stable air will move through. As we're getting into tomorrow, more stable air moves through. By tomorrow afternoon, you will feel a substantial difference from most of the southeast, but dew points are still high in eastern South Carolina, so you're still going to have that severe weather threat. And then for everybody, more stable air moves in. These are dew points into the 30s, so much more drier air moves in, stabilizes the atmosphere temporarily until the next severe weather threat decides to show its ugly face. But we got a couple more days of this, guys, and then we're done with it for a few days, and then we'll focus on the Midwest, which I think has the chance to have its first big-time potential severe weather outbreak. But this is the NATOcast, one that came out several hours ago. There'll be an updated one here shortly. But watch what this does today. I'll be sharing it on Twitter, and I'll be sharing it on Facebook. Right now, you got that yellow. It's pretty much following the Storm Prediction Center, saying a 10% risk of a tornado down here in areas of Georgia and even southern South Carolina. I won't be chasing today. It's just not a full-time job yet, guys, unfortunately, and I can't wait to the day it is where I can chase every event, especially regional events, but it's just not quite a full-time job, so I got to take care of my everyday duties, and one of these days, I'll be able to chase every single event for you guys. That is the dream, one step closer to it. Anyways, God bless all y'all. Stay safe out there. There's plenty of ways to get alerts. There's, Ryan Hall does a great job. I heard he shouted me out multiple times yesterday. I appreciate him doing that. I really do. But he does a great job. Snyder 8 or something does a great job. David Schlotthauer does a great job. If I butchered his name, sorry. But there's a lot of people who go live that do great jobs and keeping people alert. I just don't have the setup to do it right now. And honestly, that's not a big goal of mine. My goal is to always be out on the field and chasing this stuff. But one day, when I can have a little bit more space, you don't have to see the bed that I sleep on every night, and I can have much better and efficient internet connection, I would love to be able to go live with you guys at least for, an hour or two. It's hard for me with a family, to do it for 8, 9, 10 hours. But thank y'all for everything. God bless everybody. Appreciate y'all appreciate y'all coming along with a journey with me yesterday. Stay safe out there today. Have a great day, and God bless.